Hey there, I'm Rafael di Furia, and welcome back to another Friday night. Hello there, I'm Rafael di Furia, back at it again to talk a bit more about life in Italy, living in Italy, and things going on here in the land of Italy. And this week, I wanted to do something that I felt was a bit holiday season appropriate. The one thing though with this week, I'm not sure if this video is going to come out on the 18th or the 25th. So if you're seeing this on the 18th, that means if you're looking for an update on what's going on in Italy, just before we get started with the main attraction in this video, that the government at the time of recording and uploading is still making a decision on what they are going to do for real for Christmas. They did talk about recently what they were going to put into effect for the rules, but then they decided that they wanted to change those rules and update the situation a little bit more. It does seem as though where I live in the Veneto region, the head of the region, Mr. Luca Zaia, he decided that he's going to want to make it difficult to go from one municipality and travel between the municipalities. So if you are looking for an update just on what's going on currently as of the time of this recording, that's what I've got to say. However, if there is a more major update on the national level, then that means you're probably going to be watching this on Christmas Day or after. So let's see what's going on. But today, I wanted to get into all this stuff here and talk a little bit about the discussion between Panettone and Pandoro. This is a classic debate in Italy between people and even Italian Americans, people all over that are familiar with these yummy goodies. And just to preface this video, I realize everybody is entitled to their opinion and everybody has their own thing that they like. But if you choose Pandoro over Panettone, that's just wrong. That's just the wrong choice. I'm sorry, but we just have to say this plain flat out to start from the beginning. But the thing was, I didn't want to talk about just Panettone and Pandoro. I also wanted to talk about what's the difference between like the normal stuff that you get at the supermarket versus like a little bit of a nicer one. Just to kind of go over the prices, here in Italy, you can get, these are kind of like the cheap Coca-Cola ones that you see everywhere at all the supermarkets. If I remember correctly off the top of my head, this Pandoro was just under €5. The Panettone was just under €4. Although the weird thing is that it has a sticker on the top that it should be $8.90, but at the store they were selling it for less. And then here in this bag, special bag, I'll actually just tell you a quick little funny story about this. Let me get these off to the side. But when I was at the store, I usually bring a reusable bag with me. But the woman said, no. If you're buying this Panettone, I have to give you this special bag. I was like, okay, that's fine, whatever. I mean, I was like, I'm really happy to just take it in my... No, you have to take it in the bag. So I took it in the bag. Fiasconaro is the company. And this Panettone might actually be from Sicily. It says Siciliani. Yeah, it looks like it comes from the Palermo area. And this Panettone, actually, is it even a Panettone? This is Panettone Pandorato. I have no clue what that means. It's a Pandorified Panettone? I don't know, but this, in comparison with the others that I showed you before, was $18.50. Maybe if you're in the United States, some of these would cost a bit more, and I know people have spent roughly this much on some of the ones that you would buy here in Italy that are very cheap. And so let's just get into it first, between the difference between Pandoro and Panettone, and then what the hell this Panettone Pandorato is, and see if it's really worth the extra cost that goes into it. And this isn't even as expensive as they come. I know of some that can go up to €50 and €60, but I would say on the pricey side that I've seen more commonly, maybe between 18 and 28 would kind of be the normal range for the high-end Panettone. But I know a lot of people who like the more simple, easy, cheap ones just as much as they like the expensive ones. So I was curious because I've never really purchased one of the pricey ones for myself before, so I thought maybe this would be the year. Anyway, let's start out with my favorite. Well, this isn't my favorite. This is Panettone Classico. The difference between Panettone and, let me just pull this up, Pandoro, it comes down to a texture difference. I don't know if you can see this. Maybe the lights are a little bright. But anyway, it's a little bit of a texture difference between the two. And the Pandoro, if I'm not mistaken, has its origins from Verona, and the Panettone has its origins from Milan, or vice versa. Off the top of my head, I think I'm right, but anyway, who cares where the origin's from? Who cares who made it? Let's just get into it and see the differences between the two, because are they the same? Are they different? What's the real deal? What's going on here? Now, the part that always seems to be the most, it's like these boxes are origami. Okay. Ta-da! The classic style panettone, it's like a very sweet, soft bread for those who've never had it before. And it comes like in these little loaves. The traditional style is with candied fruits or raisins, or candied fruits and raisins, whereas the Pandoro just seems to kind of be more of a loaf. Just a loaf. Okay, how do you even open this one? Is there some special way that you open this, or are you just supposed to? Is there some special? Okay, I'm struggling here. Is there some special way that you're supposed to open this, or maybe there's no clear, easy way to do this. Maybe. Aha. Ooh, this one has a delightful smell just after opening it. More, you can smell it a lot more than the panettone. A lot softer. I mean, they're both very soft. And this Pandoro actually comes with decorating sugar, powdered sugar to put on top and decorate the Pandoro a little. But you know what? I have one plate here, but I think I should go grab another plate just so that I don't make too much of a mess in here. Okay, I'm back with my second plate now, and it's gonna be a mess one way or the other. Maybe I won't put all of the sugar on top just so that I don't get my area all sugar-fied. Although that doesn't sound so bad now that I think about it. Ooh, the smell. Like, I'm trying to think of how to describe it. It's like a fresh baked cake and a fresh baked bread all in the same thing, but a little sweet. This panettone I know is also going to be pretty good, but I have to say, but even though the candied fruits are the classic style, and that's the one that a lot of people enjoy for tradition's sake, my favorite ones are the ones that have chocolate all covering the outside and on the inside as well. I have one little piece left here. It didn't quite make it for the video, but yeah, you probably won't even be able to see it so well, but you have chocolate on the inside of it, and it really, it's just, I don't know why, but you just can't compare either one of these to the chocolate one, in my opinion. Oh, they say to actually keep it in the bag. Okay, I see. So you know what? I'm gonna make a little bit less of a mess here. Put this back. This isn't gonna go well. Okay. So on the back of the sugar, after having just read it now, it's not just sugar. There's also some flavorings, which I don't know if that's such a good thing or not, but they say to put the sugar on when it's still in the bag. So that makes a lot of sense for not making a mess. But let's see how this goes. Yeah, already making that mess. Fantastic. Do you put the whole thing in there? I guess you must. Well, if you don't, it's too late now. So I'm going to assume that you just do this. And we got like a little winter wonderland in there. Oh gosh, I'm afraid to even try to take this out of the bag. I think I'm just going to pull this down ever so slightly and just cut a little piece. I'm not going to have a full slice, but just enough to be able to show you the differences between the two here. It's like cutting through butter. I don't know how to explain it, but for somebody who's never had it before, I'm trying to do my best to try to explain, because it just the knife falls right through. And now for a little bit of this panettone. Definitely a bit more stiff. And also one of the other big differences between the two is that the panettone is cooked in this like paper wrapping around it, and the Pandoro, it's just the Pandoro on its own. Rip that off a little bit and just cut off a piece here. Second. Ooh, that's got a weird that's got a bad aftertaste. What kind of candied fruits did they put on this thing? That was just rank. Not sure if I'll be getting this one again. Maybe it'll taste a little bit better inside the panettone. Anyway, so between the two, texture-wise, there's not that much of a difference. I'll pull up my phone here, but just to give you a little bit more of an idea, I mean, really, we're talking about, so this is the Pandoro here, and this is the panettone, but it's almost like we're talking about Coca-Cola versus Pepsi. I mean, they really feel almost the same. There's very little difference, except for the outside, because the Pandoro, it's just the cake. There's nothing wrapping it and protecting it, but the panettone does have that. But as a little taste test, just in between the two, just a little with the outside here. At the end of the day, it's kind of getting around to the same thing. And maybe I could potentially be taking a new position on my panettone versus Pandoro debate position. If I'm wrong, I'm okay to admit it. I have no issue with that. I don't know if it's because of the two different companies here, because they are from two different companies, or it's because they're made in different ways, but to me, the Pandoro is just a little bit more light and a little bit more fluffy. The panettone is great though, and hard to say which one I really prefer. And it probably would come down to, if I'm in the mood for one, I would be in the mood for one. If I'm in the mood for the other, I'd be in the mood for the other. But out of these two that I have right here, I might go for the Pandoro. I just might. But since they're so similar, I'm not going to really say that it's such a big win from one to the other. But what's the difference between these cheap ones and the expensive one that I've got right over here? Is 1850 versus like 3 to 5 euros really that big of a difference in taste? Is the artisanal, handmade, wonderful, delectable dessert really all that different? Is it really worth the price tag? Let's see. I mean, with a higher price tag, my assumption would be that it's a better quality item, that it's going to taste better, you're going to be able to notice it. But sometimes with these sorts of things, I've noticed that there's just the name that comes along with it. It's not much more than that. Okay, visually, I have to say there is a little bit of a difference. It could be a little bit tricky to see on camera, but just, it looks like a little bit more care actually did go into it, and I'm curious. It also has this sugar that goes on top, sugar with flavor and wheat starch. I don't know, somehow when I see flavors, I get a little bit nervous. What are these flavors that you're talking about? Metal latch to keep this closed. Why are you trying to keep me locked out? But because this also has the sugar, I'm wondering, should I put it on there? Try it without first? Maybe I'll cut a little piece first without and see if it really makes any real difference. And bringing you back over to my phone here. So this is the one that's a little bit more expensive. This is the Panettone, and this is the Pandoro. Visually, I mean, you can see there's a little bit more of a crust on this than maybe the cheaper Panettone, but maybe I'm just imagining it. Slightly. You can see it's just ever so slightly thicker. But the taste, is it really that much better? Actually, it's better, but a whole extra 14 euros better. But this sugar, I'm not gonna empty out onto the whole thing. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna cut another little piece of that and just lightly dust it. Okay, now with the powdered sugar.
Is the chosen one.
Yeah, whole different league, completely different league than the others. With this sugar on top now, I'm convinced. There's no doubt in my mind that this is a completely different product, but is it worth the price? I can't say for sure that it is, but it is a completely different product with that little bit of sugar on top. It just adds that little piece that was missing that just was kind of making it iffy for me before. But then also even comparing it directly to the Pandoro with the sugar on it. The Pandoro is still a lot lighter, a lot fluffier. But for the one that is a higher price, you can tell there's a difference in the type of ingredients that were used. Not necessarily that it's so much higher quality, but a lot more feels like it went into this one than it did with the packaged ones. Anyway, just before I finish up my little Panettone feast right here, I just wanted to wish you all a very happy holiday season and that you stay safe and healthy and happy. And if you celebrate Christmas, have a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Hopefully 2021 has something a lot bigger and brighter to bring us. But for now, thanks again for joining me for this fun little video here from Italy. Something I've been thinking about for a couple of years now. With a couple of Christmases having passed by, I've been thinking about this video and I thought, you know what, maybe it's about time. And so, of course, a huge thank you to those of you who help to make videos like this possible through Patreon. You can go to rafaeldifuria.com/Patreon if you would like to help make more videos possible about life in Italy, living in Italy, and updates about what is going on here in Italy, or even the occasional little video like this doing something completely different and just sharing a little bit more of the treats from here in Italy. And of course, as always, I'm Rafael Di Furia. And depending on whether this video comes out on the 18th or 25th, if it comes out on the 18th, I'll see you all next week. But if it comes out on the 25th, I'll see you all next year. Later.